Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Yo, what's going on, guys? So in the last tutorial I said I was going to teach you guys the navigation drawer, and I've also gotten some comments asking for this navigation drawer tutorial, and so I'm going to be doing the navigation drawer tutorial today. So we'll call this my nav drawer, and I've not really done anything. All I've done is click on create new project, and that's it. This is the project name which I'm giving it. So my nav drawer, choose the SDK we want. The minimum SDK is as usual 4.4 KitKat. You can choose whatever you like, that's just a personal preference. Yeah, so add an activity to the mobile. We're going to choose the navigation drawer activity because we want the navigation drawer and we don't want to build it from scratch. So yeah, now we wait for it to build the Gradle, and it's building. I don't know what this is, but do we really care about that? No. So basically, once this is done, I'll run it so we see how the application looks like by default. Oh yeah, I didn't give the usual startup. What's going on, guys? It's Kikz Bryan here for Wifeclan TV and Kika Onduka. So today we're going to be doing the navigation drawer. We're going to be learning the navigation drawer, how to use the navigation drawer. Yeah, whatever. While we're waiting for this, I'm just goofing around. So yeah, it's loading and I'm trying to launch it. So you see how it looks like by default. And if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe, and leave some comments on the kind of tutorials you like to see. And if you have any questions about previous tutorials or have ideas on how I could improve them, let me know in the comments down below, or you can hit up my email or phone number if you have my phone number and let me know. Or just, I'd rather you have it in the comments. Peace. Okay, so the emulator is pretty slow, which is why I hate using the emulator. I rather run it on my phone. But right now my phone is kind of occupied because I've got some things going on my phone, which means I can't use it right now for the tutorial, and I'm terribly sorry. So we'll just have to wait and do with the what do you call it, the emulator. Okay, it's installing the APK on the emulator now, which is great, and it's done. Oh, it says my nav drawer has stopped. It keeps stopping. Okay, let's try that again. I think maybe it's because I ran it before the Gradle finished building. So let me try that again and see. Hopefully we'll get a different outcome. Usually it should run and show you the application there. Okay, so basically this is what we have. We have the navigation drawer, and you're wondering, Kikz, by using the navigation drawer we already have the side menu and it's coming out. We have items on the list, so why do we need this tutorial? Yeah, so this is pretty much why. When you open the side menu, you click, nothing happens. You click, nothing happens. Whatever you click is just showing you the same thing, nothing is happening. And we have the floating action button. So now what I'm going to be doing is, in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to link these options on the side menu to preferred pages, and how to change the pictures, or let me not say the pictures, how to change the icons. We already know how to use icons on Android Studio, so I'm not really going to be teaching that. I'm just going to show you where you can change it from, and maybe use one or two of my own. So yeah, and how to change the names of the options on the side menu, like this import gallery and whatnot, or add more options. So we're going to be looking at how to do these things So let's get to it. Bang da da dang. Now the first thing we need to do is let's take out that floating action button because we really don't need it. So it's gonna be in the app bar main. If you look at the design, we have the floating action button here. Sorry, I'm just gonna zoom this out a bit. There. So this is the app bar main. So now we just take the floating action button out from here, and then we take it out from the Java file because we don't really need it. And there. So the floating action button is gone. The next thing, we're gonna have to edit the options in our side menu. So this is where we edit them, and you can see the icon. This is, if you want to give it a picture, all you need to do is type in icon. When you type in icon, you choose the first one, Android icon, and it gives you an option, Android, or you just, if you have a picture of your own, drawable, usually they should be in the drawable folder, so you say drawable, then you choose the icon. Yeah, so basically these already came with their own icons, so I'm just going to use the default icons. It says drawable IC menu slideshow. Okay, so basically this is the one we're using. These are the pictures we're using. They're already assigned and everything, so we're going to be using these. But I don't want so much options on my side menu. I just want 2. So what do? It's really simple. Highlight and delete. Make sure you close it because this is a group. Okay, so you can also see this here. If you see these, it says communicate, and if you remember on the here, so if you want to make something like this, you can also create more than one group. So here it created a group. Here a group was created by default, yeah, and after the group it created an item and titled it communicate, and then a new menu was created. So we can do the same thing if we want, but I don't think that's necessary because we don't really need it. So we're gonna be taking this out. We don't need this. What we need is this first, and let's use only 2 items. 2 items for our navigation drawer. So I'm gonna, if you want to change the name of the option, this is import. You just come here, the Android title part, and change it to whatever. So let's call this camera, and we can call this pictures instead of gallery. Note, this is just to show you how to use the navigation drawer. We're not going to be doing any full system or anything, so I'm just calling these with names. We're not going to be actually implementing anything. We just want, when these are clicked, we just want them to take us to a different page. So they're not really going to be doing anything really. They're just going to be transferring us to different pages. Okay, so what next? We're done with editing our side menu, and if we view what we have, if we want to view what we have, we can see that all the options on the side menu are gone except those 2. And yeah, so this is basically where the main code is going to go, and these are showing error because I wiped out. They practically don't exist anymore. Why? Because I wiped them out from the activity main drawer. Each option has their own unique ID to let the Java activity know when they are clicked upon, as does everything on Android Studio. Yeah, so these IDs don't exist anymore since I deleted them from the menu options there. So we have to delete them if we want our program to run. So there, I deleted that, and I'm gonna run it again. Now the Gradle build is running once more. The Gradle build is running once more, and installing APK, launching activity there. So you can see in our app we only have camera and we only have pictures. Okay, then you might be wondering, this one saying Android Studio, android.studio at android.com, how do we change that? That's also good. we'll come to the nav header main, and we have this. So you can easily change this from here. We don't want Android Studio, we want Kikz Studio. Kikz Studio. Okay, there. So we have Kikz Studio, and we don't want android.studio@android.com. What we want is wafclantv.com. wafclantv.com, and there. So it's changed here, which means when I run it, it's gonna change on the other side as well. So here we go. So it's now Kikz Studio, wafclantv.com. And you're wondering, Kikz, when are we gonna get to the main part? And I'll say right about now, dogs. Okay, so the first thing we do is we create layouts. Usually people would like to go to Java, create fragments direct from here, but I advise you not to, because it pretty much shows a lot of errors. You need to follow some procedures, and those are really long. This is the best way for me, at least. It's a personal preference. You can use your own methods if you have any. Okay, so now you create a new XML file or layout resource file, depending on you. I'm just going to use the layout resource file, and I want the root element to be relative, and the file name, let's call it cam frag or frag cam, so we can call the Java cam frag cam. Okay, there we have a cam frag. So let's add something to make it unique, right? So we could just add overview. Now let's add an image button, or we just add a plain text. Let's add a plain text that says this is the camera fragment. Okay, so this is the camera fragment. Alright, so we have the message there, but it's not quite clear. Let's increase the size, 30 sp. Okay, let's reduce the bit, 24 sp. Okay, so this is good enough, I think. The next thing, we create another one for the gallery fragment or the pictures fragment. Frag pics. Okay, so we can actually use linear layouts or relative layouts. I just prefer using relative layouts since it's better. You can customize your layout with the relative layouts instead of the linear layout, where you can only use one item per line. So yeah, I'm just gonna use a button here that says pictures. Okay, let's call the button pictures. Keep in mind the button is not going to do anything, so yeah, I'm just using it to identify. Alright, so you're wondering, we have pictures, we have frag pics and frag cam. Kikz, this gotta be it. Hell nah, friends, this is not it. We still have a lot more to do, and we're gonna get to the coding part right about now. I'm just gonna run it so you see that when I click, it does absolutely nothing. And I think y'all know why. It's because we haven't linked these layout resource files to any Java file, and we haven't done any coding in the main activity that contains the navigation drawer. So for sure we can't do anything with these until we are done with that. So you have two options. You can create a new package and call it fragments, then impute all your fragments. If you're working on a large scale project, I'll advise that. Or you can basically create your Java class in here as well, It's all up to you. So I'm just going to create a Java class, and I'm going to call the Java class cam frag. Okay. Now here's where things get a bit tricky. We're going to extend to fragment. Oh my god, sorry. Extend fragment. Okay. And once that is done, you press Alt Insert and choose the override methods. Look for onCreateView method. Okay, you choose that. Take out this nullable. We don't need this nullable. Take nullable out and basically wipe out this whole line. We're gonna be typing in something similar, but it's quite different also. At the same time, it's different. So yeah, so we'll create a new view. The view is gonna be view, and call it whatever you want to call it. So I'm saying my view. I'm calling it my view equals inflator dot inflate. Okay, and I'll call r.id dot. Now you call. Oh, sorry, r.layout, not id. Dot layout. Now you call which layout you want your Java class to be linked with. So whenever your Java class is called upon, it's gonna inflate that layout. So basically, I'm gonna be linking it with the frag cam layout, because that's actually what we want. Yeah. Okay. So when that is done, put comma container comma false, and we're gonna return my view. Close this. We are done here, although we're gonna come back here, but we're done here for now. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is, let's just copy this so we don't have to, because we're gonna do the exact same thing for the fragment pictures. So we just copy it and paste and change a few things. So we'll call this Kikz frag. Okay, so we just change this layout. We don't want it to be calling upon the same layout. Yeah, so we'll call this frag pix instead. Alright, so now we have successfully linked the Java files to the XML files. The next thing, now we're gonna do the main coding in the main activity. So we'll come here and we're gonna use what we call a fragment manager. Now the fragment manager gets tricky sometimes. Its job is self-explanatory really. We want it to manage fragments. Yeah. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come to the first one that says r.id.nav camera, and nav camera is the first option. If you remember, I told you guys about the ID when we were explaining the navigation drawer contents. I talked about the ID, where you can also change that. But before we get to that, there's one more thing I need to show you guys. In the content main, we need to give it an ID, because we're going to be calling it when we type in this code. Yeah, so we need to give it an ID. So you just pick anywhere around. So I'll probably use the last side here and just type in ID, Android ID there. Then now you give it, I'm just going to call it main just because, and there. So we have the ID as main. So the content main ID is going to be main. I'll explain why in a jiffy. Okay, so now the first thing we do is we create a fragment manager. Give it a variable fm. I'm calling mine fm. You can call it whatever you want, fm, and we'll say get support fragment manager. Okay, the next thing, we say fm dot begin transaction dot replace And when we say replace, we're going to be calling, now this is where we're going to use that ID we just talked about, the ID about the for the content main. So we're going to be calling it, and we named it main. Yeah, so we're going to say r.id.main, and once it comes up, comma, and we say new. So basically we're telling this to replace the content main, because the content main is like the background of fragments. So basically the fragments are going to be inflated on top of the content main, so the content main is really not going anywhere, but whenever these fragments are called upon, they are going to climb on top of the content main, and it's pretty transparent, so whatever is on the content main is going to be reflecting on the camera frag, on the fragments that are inflated. So it's best if you keep your content main a blank one if you have things you don't want to show on other pages. Yeah, okay. So now when we call the content main, when we call it by the ID, which is main, we'll say comma new, and now we'll call the fragment we need. And what fragment do we really need? We want the camera fragment because we're working on the camera button. So we'll say camera frag, and we'll come outside and say dot commit. We're done here, but it's showing error. Now why would that be showing error? Here is why. This get support fragment is for the older version of Android Studio, and this is 2.3.3. so this is basically what we're going to do. You come to the camera fragment area, and the import side, we change this. Instead of import android.app.fragment, we change this to import android.support.v4.app.fragment. Now the error is gone there. So basically this one is over and done with. So you can also add a few other things, like say a toast message to show that you clicked that particular one. Toast the make text this comma camera opening, camera comma, then we'll give it a length. Yeah, so when I click on this, it's basically gonna send the text saying camera, and it's gonna go to the camera fragment definitely. So we can try it. Let's load, and there. So oh yeah, the toast did not show because I input dot show. Okay, so let's try that again. But I think he also what I was talking about just now. See, the content main is showing hello world, and if you remember, our camera fragment had that camera fragment text view, so it's now overlaying on the hello world. If you look at the camera area, you see that it's pretty rough because it's right on top of the hello world. So we need to take out the hello world if we want our app to look neat. Okay, so well, I guess you saw what just happened. When I clicked on camera, it showed the toast message camera, and it sent the this is the camera fragment message. So we could edit the content main and take out the text view. We don't need it really. So yeah, that's out. And let's work on the Kikz frag. So we're gonna do exactly the same thing. Take this, change it to the dot support v4.app fragment. So we're going to use this instead. And main activity, we're just going to do exactly the same thing here. So I'm going to copy this, copy and paste it right here, then change this to Kikz fragment, Kikz frag. There. So once we run this, we have an application with a navigation drawer with two options. Pictures, there. Camera, this is the camera fragment. So you might notice for the pictures there's no toast message showing. It's because we didn't add any toast message, so we can copy this and paste. Show. Okay, so let's change the text. And let's rerun. So we can see that I made the contents main blank. Yeah, I made it blank, so because we don't want anything on it overlaying on the other one. And so when you click camera comes, this is the camera fragment, and we'll click pictures, it shows the button saying pictures. And yeah, so that's about it. And okay, so that's basically all there is to know about the navigation drawer. Oh yeah, one more thing. If you want your application to start itself with a particular page on your navigation drawer instead of showing the blank content main, you can always come to this area where it says the drawer layouts, and you come under the navigation view and you type in, just type in the same code there that you use to switch navigation there. And but I think we could do something like, let's create an object of a class first. So we have the class camfrag, so we say camfrag, and we just call this cf equals new camfrag. So basically I'm gonna make the same thing I did in the last one, but I want it to be easier. Instead of typing new camfrag when I want to call the class, I'll just call cf. Yeah, so fragment manager fm, I'm giving it a variable new, oh sorry, get support fragment manager, close. Now fm the begin transaction dot replace r.id dot main comma cf, okay, dot commit. There. So now whenever once I run my program, instead of it to start with the blank content main page, it's gonna come up with the camera fragment page like this. I can also do the same thing for the pictures fragment, so it's all about preference. If you want it the other way, it's good for you. And yeah, so it's your boy Kikz Bryan. Make sure you guys like, definitely subscribe, and I'm almost out. I just want to show you guys this. So I changed it to pictures, and yeah, it's the same. Okay, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting more of this at your request. So if you request for a tutorial and it's something I really know how to do, I don't really need to know how to do it, just request and I'll do my best to research on it if I don't know it, and I'm gonna post a tutorial on it. I remember trying to learn this navigation drawer about a few months back, like say about a year ago, and it was really tough for me finding tutorials on it and whatnot, and in the end I was able to get it, and I found that it's pretty easy if you know what you're doing. So make sure you like, subscribe, and if you have any comments, if you have any inquiries, you want to know something about this, you have any questions about the code and why I did certain things, or what you can change and what you're not supposed to change, if you have any doubts on that, just leave your comments down below. I will definitely reply you. Maybe not immediately, but definitely within 24 to 48 hours. Once again, I know I've said this a lot. Thank you guys for watching. Definitely subscribe, share this video with your friends if you like it. It might help them also. And Kikz Bryan here. I'm out.